Hi, everybody. It's Pastor Jared again. Glad that you are back with me. It's Wednesday, July 22nd, 2009. And today I wanted to talk just real briefly about prayer. Prayer is something that a lot of people do. A lot of people that are Christians do it. A lot of people that may not quite be Christians, but just kind of believe in God or have some sort of spiritual inclination to it. Uh, there's there's a lot of things that go into prayer, but I think sometimes we get a little bit confused about it. Prayer, most of the time, we say is talking with God. That's the easy, short, churchy definition that we give prayer. And I think sometimes we don't quite understand what prayer really ought to be. Prayer definitely has a part of us talking to God, expressing gratefulness for what He's done in our lives, saying thank you for what He's done, asking for forgiveness from sin. The first prayer that God hears from us, can actually hear from us, is that prayer to ask forgiveness of our sin and to become a Christian. But prayer is not just talking to God. Prayer is conversing with God. It's allowing God to speak to you as well. A lot of times we spend so much time saying, well, God, thank you for this. God, I've got a lot of stuff going on with this. Would you please bless this person, that person, that person? Bless me, give me this, give me that. Forgive me for this, forgive me for that. Thanks again, see you later. That's enough. But many times we don't actually stop and say, God, what is it that you have to say to me today? And just shut our mouths and be quiet and let God speak to us. The Bible speaks to us, and God speaks to us through the Bible. God speaks to us through other people. But God can speak to us through our thoughts, and He can speak to us in quiet moments when we allow ourselves to meditate on Him and meditate on His Word. And when I say meditate, I don't mean all that kind of meditation. I mean meditating and thinking on God and thinking about Him and thinking about things that we can do for Him. That things that would please Him and make Him happy. And so I want to encourage you. We talked about this a little bit yesterday in our morning Bible study that we had on Tuesday. I want to encourage you to, when you pray, to not just talk at God and ask Him for this and tell Him to do this. Those things are all fine and all good, and we need to do those things. We're told we need to do those things in the Word of God. But let's also give some time for God to speak to us. Let's be quiet. That's a hard thing for us to do in this society that we live in. Everything is so fast-paced. It's you've got to make it to this meeting or that meeting. You've got to get this deadline. You've got to be here by 3 o'clock. You've got to be here by whatever the case is. We are a deadline-based society. We run through drive-throughs and all those things, and most of the time we don't allow ourselves just to be quiet. When we're in the car, which a lot of times is the only time that many of us are alone during the day, we crank up the radio, and listen, there's nothing wrong with music. I love music. I love listening to music. But every once in a while, maybe it might be a good idea if we just shut off the radio and shut off the music. And not even start talking to God, but maybe even just saying, God, I'm thinking about you. Please speak to me. Is there anything that you need to reveal to me in my heart? Is there anything that I've grown far away from you? Is there anything that I need to change? My attitude, my lifestyle, the way I react to things. What do you need from me? What do I need to do for you, God? And what do you want to speak to me about? A lot of times, one of the biggest questions that adults have, and even kids have, is, what is my purpose for life? What is the plan that God has for my life? And God's not necessarily ready to tell you all of the major details of what's going to happen in your life. but he does lead us step by step, and directs us in that way. God will give us directions, and he will give those directions very clearly if we're willing to listen to him, if we stay away from sin, if we get forgiveness from our sin. And that's the other thing we need to remember is God will speak to you. God is speaking to you. Are you listening to him? People say, well, God, sometimes it seems like he's speaking in riddles and he's speaking. No. You're probably asking the wrong question. The question you need to ask is, God, what do you have for me? What is my next step? Not necessarily, God, who am I going to marry? I need to know right now, even though I haven't dated anyone in a while, or whatever the case is. Take it step by step. Ask God to guide your day today. Let God know that you want someone, but don't just say, God, I need to know who it is now. Don't play that with God, because God may not be ready to tell you. Maybe it's with your job. Maybe you really want to know if you're going to be able to have the career that you want, or the money that you want in the future, or this or that, the other. God may not be ready to tell you what your life is going to be like yet. But you need to take it step by step. You need to say, God, what do you have for me today? Jesus said, don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will worry about itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. In other words, there's plenty today to be concerned about, to work on, that God has for you to do today without needing to think about tomorrow and what it holds. So folks, again, I want to encourage you. Let's today listen to God. Don't just talk to God, but listen to God today. Ask God step by step what you want to do and what he wants you to do. And if God's not quite ready to tell you everything about your future, just ask him to give you the step that you need right now, so that your future can be solidified by following God's steps. It's what Abraham did. Abraham, in chapter 12 of Genesis, God says, Abraham, get up, pack up your family, and go to a place that I will show you. In other words, pack up and go. And Abraham didn't know where he was going. Abraham had no idea what was going to happen to him. But Abraham was faithful. He got up, he packed up his family, and he went. And because of Abraham's faithfulness over the years and years, God blessed him and blessed his descendants and blessed us because of him. What step is God telling you to do right now? Is God looking at you saying, hey, you know what? Get up and go to a place that I'll show you. Get up and take this first step of faith, of obedience, and then I'll show you what you're going to do and what you need to do. Thank you so much for stopping by again. I'm Pastor Jared. Glad to have you here. If you don't have anything to do tonight, Wednesday night in Shelby, North Carolina, we've got a Bible study going on. We're in the book of Ephesians at Lilly Memorial Baptist. You can drop by here on Whitener Street off of DeKalb, about a half mile away from Shelby High School. You can also visit us at lilychurch.com. We're still under construction there a little bit. And you can email me at pastorjared, Jared, at lilychurch, lilychurch.com. Thanks again. Hope you're having a great week, and I'll see you next time.